Hey everybody, welcome to Darksliders podcast with Doug and Brad.
Hello.
So last week we pretty much talked about just games we've been playing. This week we're actually going to start talking about news again. We haven't talked about news in
Like
almost a
months.
month. Yeah,
This is the
we
first
did our
time.
game of the.
This is the first time we've done a full, real episode in a while.
Yeah, I think what happened was like we kept because what would happen is like there'd be like a PSX or something like that where we'd just be talking about news, and then we like didn't talk about games we played, so then we just talk about games we played. We kept going back and forth, so I don't think we haven't done a mixed one in a while.
So this is a normal episode.
Hopefully, we'll
Hopefully,
see.
maybe.
Yeah. So as always, we always start our podcast with games we've been playing. And this week I got to hang out with Brad a little bit and some of our college friends. And I got to actually play a little bit of Xenoblade. And I guess we got to play. We
It's
played
so
Xenoblade.
good.
It is so good.
I would just
I,
like to. I think I tweeted this, but I would just like to formally state on a podcast. I really wish I would have played this 3 months ago, so we could have talked about this as being the best game of last year, because it's probably the best game of last year.
But you can't say that yet. You're only like 5 hours. It could
No,
suck.
I'm,
You don't know.
I'm
It could
15.
suck for like
I'm 15 hours into it, which is more time than I put into Until Dawn. Like double the time of Until Dawn.
That's such an unfair way to describe Until Dawn.
It's double the time of Until Dawn. I think that's perfectly fair because that's what happened.
Yeah, so I got to play this game. I think Brad, we talked a little bit about this last week, but I think you just started then, and then we actually got to start playing this. Man, people have been talking a lot about Xenoblade. I think for a while because when it came out on Wii, there was like a big push for it, and a lot of people were talking about it then. And in the back of my head, I always get really hesitant when people, because with Undertale, I was like super hesitant. I was like, oh, maybe this game isn't as awesome as people talk about. Xenoblade Chronicles X is freaking mind blowing. That game is so far ahead in some regards than like tons of other games I've played. I couldn't believe that. Like, you know what it looked like? It kind of looked like Final Fantasy 15. Like everything I've seen for Final Fantasy 15 so far, we're like walking around an open world and seeing creatures and then getting into battles. Like this already does it, and
Yeah.
it looks better. Like
Well, I don't know if it looks
know.
better, but it does it, and it does it really, really well. And this is one of the few games I've ever found where I am perfectly happy just wandering around and not doing anything. There'll be, an hour or two where I'll just sit there and go, I've never been to this corner here. I wonder what's up there. And then you just start wandering that way, and you find all this cool stuff, and you find these cool new monsters, and everything in there is just so well done. Everything makes sense, and the way it's laid out, you always kind of have an idea of where you're supposed to be. So right now I'm around level 20 or 25, somewhere in there.
Mhm.
And I can always tell, like, when there's an area, like, oh shit, not supposed to be here yet. Like yesterday I ran into this bridge, and there are two just giant-ass level 40 monsters just chilling on this bridge up to this mountain. It's like, well, man, it'll be really cool when I can get to the top of that mountain, but it's not going to be today, because that's going to beat the living shit out of me.
Well, kinda. I mean, you can just run past stuff. I like when I was playing, like, because I was not a huge fan of the battle system. To be fair, I didn't get enough time to play. That was a super weird battle system for that type of game.
Yeah,
like,
and
not something I was expecting.
And you just jumped in with my, like, at that time, like, level 15 character and
Yeah.
had no tutorial, no anything, and just, like, ran right in, just like, here, Doug, play this damn game because it's awesome.
Yeah, so I got no comments on that, but I thought it was kind of cool because like even if there was like a level 50 guy, you could run past him if you wanted to. Like I was definitely running into some high level areas I probably wasn't supposed to be in, but you can do it. I thought it was super cool that this was I don't know what it was, but I don't know why a lot of other games don't do this, but the animal like most of the like a large percent of the animals do not outright attack you, which I thought was really really cool, and I thought it was kind of like a weird thing because if you think about like pretty much any game ever, like monsters immediately like Bloodborne's my favorite game, like every monster immediately attacks you. Almost every game, like that's like just a general trope. Like ever since we had Goombas and like Super Mario
Yeah.
NES, like every enemy immediately wants to kill you. And this one, it's like they don't. A lot of them don't. Most of them don't. And you can just sit there and like wander around. Just like you can't interact with them, which it doesn't. It's like such a minor thing. But like this kind of reminded me. I was getting like Pokemon Snap feelings. And I was like, oh my god, somebody actually did it. Like they did it. They did another not Pokemon Snap, but it's like that sort of just like fauna living in the environment, and you don't have to kill everything,
Yeah.
and not everything wants to kill you.
Yeah, and there's actually a couple story elements that play into that. There's what are called tyrants, which are the big giant monsters you have to go and kill, and those ones are like supposedly the angry monsters, and they're the ones that are really pissed that you're imposing on their territory. So there's some story explanation for how these things work. There's also a couple of, it was a side mission the other day where you come to this thing and it's like the mission is all these monsters keep showing up around town. Like we need to figure out what to do. They're getting closer and closer. Can you go hunt them down and kill them?
Yeah.
So you get out there and the first one attacks you and you kill it. And after you like walk past it, it's like keep going to the cave. There's more of them. We know there's more of them. You walk in and there's a bunch of like little ones and the dude just comes over your comm and is like, oh, it was just a mom protecting her babies. Like, totally up to you. I don't want to force you into slaughtering these animals that they are coming close to the city, but we can figure out another way to deal with them. So either come back or take care of them right now. It's completely up to you.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. I didn't get any of the story when I was playing. That's
you didn't do a single mission. This is Doug literally fast traveled to the middle of the map, held down sprint, and went, ooh, oh my god.
Yeah, it's just cool. The thing is, like, if you think about most open world games, like, you sort of have, because a lot of them I think are based in like familiar environments, like okay, Grand Theft Auto is like the perfect example. Like, it's set in New York, or it's set in San Francisco, or it's not San Francisco, it's set in LA. So like you're excited to explore it, to see these areas that are kind of like other areas that you're familiar with, or like Witcher is kind of like, ooh, I wonder what kind of I can't wait to explore a castle. But this one, like, I don't know, I had no idea what to expect. When you're wandering around, like, the environments are like really, really crazy looking. That they're not just like, there is a desert, quote unquote, but there's this huge ancient ruins, like gigantic. We'll talk about that in a second. I want to talk about the scale in a second. But I thought it was just weird because it's definitely one of the few open world games probably the only fantasy open world game like I've ever played. I mean, fantasy in like a more general sense, not fantasy in like Western fantasy. Like, it was crazy because you really didn't know it. I feel like you were saying like, oh, I don't know, I want to explore so much. It's because you really don't know what's going to be there, like at all. Like Just Cause 3, it's gonna be okay. It's probably gonna be more jungle stuff. There's probably be some kind of small neat stuff. But this one, it's just like really, really weird creatures, really, really, really strange environments, like really weird ruins.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The only other one I can think of that's like that is Mass Effect to a certain extent. Mass Effect does it on a much smaller scale, and you can talk about scale in a second. But most games, even you mentioned The Witcher and Assassin's Creed, those feel like they're set in much more known environments. I know or have a picture in my mind of what 1800s Europe looked like. I have a picture in my mind of what a more Western style elves and dwarves fantasy world is. There's nothing that's going to be overly shocking in there. There'll be some cool monster designs. There'll be some cool castles. There'll be some cool environments, but this just has that feeling of, I go to a new place. I don't know what's going to be there. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know, are there going to be as you go through, you discover there's several different species and all these things are kind of interconnected. I don't know what's going to be there. One of the ones I know that Doug was looking at it's either the second or third, depending on which way you want to run when you start. You basically walk into this big neon forest and everything is bright pink and bright green and bright blue, and it's off just your generic plane, but you go through just like kind of this valley and it just opens up. And I remember walking in the first time just going like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Like, I had no clue what was in there, and it's just this crazy gorgeous environment. That's something I never would have pictured in this game, because you're thinking traditional fantasy, plains, jungle, snowland, desert. You're not thinking giant bright neon forest.
Yeah, man. Can we talk about the scale for a second? Because I thought that was, because you're saying the bright giant forest. Because when you walk in that forest, it's like gigantic. It kind of reminded me of actually Alice, I guess. Well, like, I'm trying to think of games like super crazy environments. I just wasn't expecting a super crazy environment from a JRPG. But yeah, like I was talking about the scale before. Like, I think I think you sent me to the first area, just kind of like, here, Doug, why don't you play around the first area first? And there's just like a dinosaur, like, in the biggest scale I think I've ever seen in any game ever. Like, and it's not just like, I'm sure it's a boss character kinda, but it's just sort of wandering around. I feel like a lot of games would be like God of War, probably a good example. Like, if anything's big, it's gonna start attacking immediately. They have this like big blah blah blah, and it's a really impressive. But I think it's almost more impressive just to see this giant beast just sort of existing and just kind of like drinking from water, just kind of walking around, and
just the fact that you can like run through its legs and nothing happens, and it just gives me this, like, the first time I did that gave me this Jurassic Park sense of like, I'm just running around looking at dinosaurs right now. Like, that's what I'm doing, is I'm running around looking at dinosaurs. And you can see just these giant things. And the one you're talking about, I think, was oh god, what the hell's the long neck? That was his name in Land Before Time. I can't remember the dinosaur name. But anyway.
Brachiosaurus, I think.
Yeah, Brachiosaurus. But anyway, there's dozens and dozens of those things in this game. So you saw one, but that plains area that you start in, you can go almost anywhere in there and find a couple. So it's not even like it's a boss character, it's this one singular dinosaur. It's clearly a species, and these species have different areas that they go to, and just even with scale, the size of mountains and things, and the way some of these things are set up and designed, it's just amazing the way it's looked. Like when you run up to a waterfall, it is gigantic, and it looks gigantic, and it's like, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to get up there.
But then you can, like, you do eventually get to that thing. I thought that was really impressive, because, like, I wasn't expecting it to be open world. Like, I was like, okay, it's an open world game, but it's like, no, it is open. Like, I don't know. There's just some sort of like verticality that you wouldn't expect from an open world game. I mean, you think of like Grand Theft Auto, there's always like the mountain. Just Cause is kind of a weird example, because that game's like just that game, mountains all over the place. But I don't know. I was just surprised, like that's because you don't expect it from JRPGs, I guess.
No.
And you don't expect that sort of level of detail and that sort of design environment in an open world, and seeing it applied to an open world is just like damn impressive. And like literally everything I was excited about, like playing Final Fantasy 15, I've played in this game, and I found like I kind of want to play more of this game than I do Final Fantasy 15 now. But yeah, I don't know, just everything about the game is impressive. I really like the size of the ruins and stuff like that, because usually when I think of like games with like ruins, like it's like, okay, you go into a cave and there's sort of like there's people-sized things, like there's people-sized art, like relics and stuff like that. But in this, like, it looks like there's some sort of ancient civilization of giants. I don't know. I don't know if that is the story. It probably isn't. But like, just like a statue is like a skyscraper size, or like a piece of machinery is like goes up and like touches the sky. It's like, it's so crazy.
And even, I think you did a little bit of this, as you're exploring, you can find chunks of your life raft that crashes on Mira, and those pieces are to scale. And you're researching them, and you'll run up to an engine of a spaceship, and it takes you a good 15, 20 seconds to run around the engine of a spaceship, because it is the size of an engine of a spaceship.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so crazy how well done this game is. And I'm, like I said, I think, I don't even know, 15, 20 hours into it. I'm around level 20, 25, about halfway through the story. And I every second I want to play this game. And yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I really hope that, because I feel like because Witcher won a bunch of Game of the Year awards, people are going to start noticing Witcher. It's like, oh, we got to put more dialogue in our games and stuff like that, which I don't deny. Like, from what I play, The Witcher, it does have like some really cool dialogue options and stuff like that. But I feel like this game is like monumental in what it does. Like, that could change games if more people took notice.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't know, I really hope I really hope Western devs take notice of this game, because man, does it do some cool stuff that I've just never seen before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll probably be talking. I guess you'll be talking. That'll probably be like kind of a.
This is about
impression.
the only. I'm 20 hours in, and I've got another 50 to go. So this will probably be about the only game I'm playing for the next 2 weeks.
yeah. We kind of like in the last episode we started talking about all the games we played, which is kind of dumb. That was a dumb thing to do. We probably shouldn't have done that, like every game we played. And this week we're like, what did we play this week? It's like, oh, I played a little bit of Xenoblade. So we're probably gonna be playing like, a little bit of games, but like I just got into Destiny, and I feel like that's just gonna be a rabbit hole of issues of like just time sync, and I'm really enjoying it actually. But anyway, Brad, you did play another game though, and so I'm gonna take a quick break, and you're just gonna start talking. Maybe I'll turn on my Vita and play some Castlevania. So just talk about NHL. Tell me when you're done.
Yeah, so basically my past 2 weeks have been the time sink of Xenoblade and NHL, but NHL 16, it was on sale. It's $25. It's always on sale after Christmas, which is normally when I buy it, 'cause it's always like $25 right after Christmas.
Oh, that's weird. Is that like consistent?
Yeah, like the last 3 years I've got it for between $20 and $30, the end of December, beginning of January.
Oh, wait, when do they come out? Sorry, this is more interesting than anything else I can say.
Back to Castlevania, Doug. No, it comes out in, it's normally early September. It's normally like 3 weeks after Madden. And that's normally, see, my thought with this is, and it works perfectly, is Madden just takes up all football season, which is only like 4 months long. Mm-hmm. The NHL season's like 8 months long. So I'm really getting this game halfway through the NHL season for half price.
So I'll bet they do. I'll bet that actually is that is interesting. I didn't know that's surprised how fast that game drops. And if that does it like yearly, that's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, anyway, continue.
I mean, but most sports games like Madden, you can normally find for 35 or 40 once it gets to November. It's like as the season goes on, the likelihood of people buying that just decreases because I I mean, I bought it in January. I already know in September the next one comes out, so I'm limiting the amount of time this game is relevant.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's such a weird.
As soon
Those
as
are such weird games that like they're like just wholly unique in that yearly sort of
yeah,
franchise.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, because as soon as it hits August, nobody's going to buy this game anymore. It's going to be $10
Yeah.
at GameStop and $1.50 used.
Mhm.
And I think they realize it, so it's like, oh well, we'll just slowly drop the price, so that way we can still get people to buy it that wouldn't normally buy it. But
Mhm.
anyway, last year about this time, it was one of our first couple episodes, I think. I talked about how
Mhm.
much I disliked NHL 15 because NHL 15 was clearly the first game on the new systems thing where they like strip everything off and it's like you can play hockey or you can play hockey
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and you can move a player from a different team if you really want to.
Mhm.
But this went back to what I love about NHL games, and it's so much more prevalent in NHL than any other sports game I played, is the ungodly amount of modes. Before we started this, I actually told Doug, I actually need to load this game up, because I feel like I don't even know half the stuff in this game, and I probably put 20 hours into it. But
Oh, gee. Yeah.
there are so many different ways to play this, and I mean, obviously it comes down to there's a really solid game of hockey in this. The hockey works great, the physics are great, it looks beautiful, all of those things, but just the amount of different stuff you can do. I mean, you can set it up so you're a coach. You can set it up so you're the general manager. You can set it up so you're a player. And that's always one of my favorite ones because it's just you play as your player and you go out for your shift, you come back, you simulate to your next shift, you go back, you play, and it grades everything out and you gain experience. It's basically hockey, the role-playing game.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually really. Wait, is there like an online mode of that?
Yeah, there is. So that's the EA Sports Hockey League, EASHL,
Okay.
for if you want to be quick about it. But yeah, so what that does, and I haven't even messed with that because normally I do that with a couple people who haven't bought PS4s yet or don't have this game. So, but that one basically the way it works is you make your player and then you join a club, and your club, as long as you have 2 or more people playing on your club, you each get a position,
Oh,
and
that
you
is
play
kind of
against
neat.
other clubs, and it basically stacks it so each. Like I said, I haven't touched it in this one yet, but in the older ones, it was always each month is a season.
Mm-hmm.
You play through that season, and at the end of the month, there's always a tournament. So you get ranked based on how your team did that time. And over the next week, you play games in a tournament sense to see who's like the champion of the league or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But
That's actually really. Can you get like you can't do like I don't know how many people are on a hockey team. Like you can't fill you can't fill like your entire roster with like real people though. I
yes, you got
imagine.
yep. So you
Damn.
could, I mean, so the way I had it before is like in NHL 14, which was the last game I had that had this mode really well
Mm-hmm.
done. There were I think 13 of us on the club, and
Yeah.
as long as 2 or more people are online at the same time, you can play a game. So you
No,
can
but I'm saying, can you have like 13 people online? That's my question.
you can only have there's only 6 positions in a game, so you can
Oh,
have six
okay.
six people playing at once. You have 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie.
Okay.
Doug's good
But
at
you could have
sports
can you have
now.
6-on-6? That's my question.
Yeah, yep. You fill out
Oh,
both
that's pretty
teams.
cool.
You can play the whole thing. Everybody gets their position. You play the whole. Yeah,
That'd be crazy. That sounds awesome.
there's a ton of.
All that hard to organize, I imagine.
Oh yeah, it's like playing 4 versus 4 Rocket League, where it's like, you kind of got a spot you're supposed to be, and you're kind of trying to get the ball that way,
Yeah.
and a whole bunch of shit's going on in the middle. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of stuff in this, and it's an awesome game. I love NHL. NHL is easily, probably in my mind, the best of all the sports franchises year in and year out. It's
Mhm.
got the Ultimate Team, which is kind of the deck building game. So I mean, there's the card based game in here where you get different cards and you get points to open new packs of cards and you build your team up. And
Real quick question about that. I thought you hated that in Madden because you kept running into people who bought all the cards.
I did, but Madden works a lot differently than this because Madden basically if you get 3 or 4 good players, you're set. Whereas in NHL, your lines shift so much that you really need to have 8
Oh.
or 9 good players to be able to
Oh,
do it.
okay.
And in NHL, I feel like the players vary a little bit more. If you're playing with a shitty quarterback in Madden, you are playing with a shitty quarterback who's not going to do shit. Versus in
Mhm.
this, you're playing with a shittier player, but it's not quite as bad as if you were in Madden. And
Oh, okay.
in this game, again, I think I had a lot of like legacy things, so I started with a little bit of a better team, but it's the prices match more in my mind what they should be, and it makes sense. And there's auctions where you can actually buy a fairly decent player for a decent
Mhm.
amount. So it levels off a lot to the point where I can have a very average team very, very quickly. It's hard to get a really, really good team, but an average team is easy to do.
Oh, okay, okay.
Where
Every time there's any sort of like microtransaction-y stuff, it always makes me flinch.
I mean, I've done it for forever and have never once bothered with a microtransaction thing. I mean, you can, but there's really no reason to.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you just want like, oh, I want all of these players right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, much better than last year. Definitely a huge improvement. And yeah, that's hockey.
I feel like a lot of people. I feel like nobody who like last year was like, "This game sucks. I'm never buying NHL again." They're like, "Oh, let's get the next year."
Yep. Well, but I didn't say I'd never get this again. I said I understand what it is because you get the new generation. And it's always we got to focus on gameplay first, and throwing in all the rest of this shit becomes a secondary thing. So I feel like in development, it's more of a how do we go about making a great game of hockey, and what else can we happen to jam in here before we need to get this thing out the door.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, I guess we should probably treat it like any other like sort of first year game where it's like we just need to get our engine working, sort of thing.
Yeah, like
and then we can add the features.
Unity
it kind of sucks. Like I wish those games were like $40 though instead of like 60. Like you kind of know it's like, well, guys, it's not as good. It's gonna be. They'll be better later, but like right now.
But it's the first one, and it's really pretty, and you've never played it on your PS4 before. So it's $60 right now.
I guess I would actually say that's a relevant argument.
I agree
because I could see that. Oh, are you done with NHL talk?
Yeah, no, I just happened to open this up, and somewhere I have enough coins to buy a gold pack. Yay!
Oh God, see that sort of talk scares the crap out of me.
But no, you earn them from playing games. Like the last time I played this, I must have earned a bunch, and I don't buy any ever.
But you can, right?
Oh, I can, yeah, but I'm not going to. Well, what's actually really weird in this, and it's kind of an interesting idea, is they actually have a button that just says "Earn Ultimate Team coins," and you click it, and you can pick like 3 commercials every day, and if you watch a commercial, you get like 200 coins.
God dang it! I get it.
Which I understand, but like at the same time, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna turn this 30-second commercial on to get my 50 coins right now.
Yeah, actually, I'm having flashbacks. This was actually way worse. Wipeout HD. Like when it came out, didn't have this, but like there was like one of those like update things during loading screens. You'd watch random commercials for stuff.
Oh God,
it was so bad. And sometimes because they had to have an internet connection, like sometimes it'd take a while to load the commercial. So the game would it's like the loading time's extended, and you also had to watch a commercial. It was garbagey. It sucked.
Damn.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is the Hockey Ultimate Team presented by Honda. So I mean, there you go.
Oh God.
So if you like car commercials. See, you don't play sports games. It's so integrated now that I just don't even care. Because it's like, 14 years ago, Snickers was sponsoring touchdowns. And, like, great. And you had the Old Spice Red Zone. Like, it's this, I think it gets away with it more in sports games because if you turn on a sports game, that's what you get.
I guess
let's
that's
get
true.
our Subway fresh set of downs.
I mean, yeah, I guess it is kind of complaining about, like a NASCAR game having too much advertising or something like that.
So it's like
I guess
it's iffy. It's one of those things where it's a fine line between having it and not having it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I remember as a kid, like I was super excited when Jet Moto had like a Mountain Dew bike. Actually, in my head, like I feel like the only way Jet Moto would ever get made again is that you make a Jet Moto game. It's free to play. But, like every character is like from a different advertiser. So you have like Pepsi guy, you have like Coke guy, like that would be amazing. They're never gonna do that. But
oh God, like the Doritos games where you've got the different Doritos cars, you've got the nacho cheese car and the Cool Ranch car.
But here's the thing: like if it's a futuristic racer game, like I guess that would sort of make sense. Like it would make sense for them to have that sort of thing if it's set in the real. I don't know. That's just me rambling. I just really want a Jet Moto. I don't even like Jet Moto that much. I just like the idea of a Jet Moto.
See, you're gonna be you're gonna end up being with me with Amplitude, where it's like, oh man, I can't wait for new Amplitude. I played the demo; it was okay.
No, okay. Oh, I do want to make a quick correction. My Amplitude impressions, like I actually did finish the game. I unlocked like most of the songs, if not all of them. That game is awesome. That game is straight awesome. I really really like it a lot. I hope some DLC. They've said that no DLC is coming out, which is kind of a bummer, but that is a damn good game. If you have any interest in Amplitude, it's totally worth. I felt like I got $20 out of it. That game is like perfectly priced. If it's $20, or if you're like, maybe I'll get a sale. Like as soon as that game's on sale, just pick that game up. Very, very good. I think I had some minor complaints last time about the music and stuff, but as I started unlocking the bonus songs, and getting farther and farther the game, there's some really cool songs in there. Yeah, I think people will forever complain about the lack of songs because the only other games to compare to really are Rock Band and Guitar Hero. It's just not going to beat those.
Yeah.
But I think the aesthetic kind of makes that game. I think it's more interesting to look at than anything else out there, music rhythm game wise.
I put another half hour into those demo songs the other day too.
See, Brad, just buy it.
But Xenoblade.
Yeah, but you're already putting time into Amplitude anyway.
Yeah, but just like 20 minutes here and there. If I buy it, I'm gonna feel
That's how you play Amplitude. That's how Amplitude is played.
No. I'm gonna do it the same way I did with Rock Band, and I'm gonna play it in like 8-hour sessions. That's how I played through Rock Band. Is I sat down and did it until my hands started cramping and went, shit, all right, time for something different.
You're not. I don't think you're gonna play it. Amplitude is not a game you'd play in those sort of sessions. I know what you're. I get what you're saying, but it's not that kind of game.
I've played it for probably 4.5 hours in 3 sessions.
Just god dang it, dude. Just whatever. Just get that game. Whatever it's on sale. If I see it on sale and you don't get that, I will actually be mad at you.
I know you will.
Because I know you'd like that game.
I do.
Actually, this is really quick. I got a new TV because I was at Brad's house and I saw Brad had a nice TV. And this sounds kind of like I was jealous,
but
I was not.
Go ahead and play. You were.
No, what happened was he was playing his PS4 and like the TV I've been playing my PS4 on was a 32-inch 720p TV.
Boo.
And we loaded up Bloodborne, and I was just like, Brad,
I played Bloodborne. I hate Bloodborne.
I know you hate Bloodborne. It's okay. I was like, oh, Brad, let's get you this boss. So I beat a boss for Brad. It's a boss I beat a few times. I've already gone through the game twice. And I sort of realized that, like, there's a lot of details and stuff that I hadn't seen before. There's things in the cloth that I couldn't tell before. Like, the monsters had, like, very cool details, and I was like, wow, I'm missing a lot. So I got a TV, and I went back and started playing all these old games. I finally feel like, oh, this is what next gen looks like.
A year after you got your PS4, you're like, oh, these are pretty games, I guess. Yeah. That's what people.
No, it's not like they weren't bad. Look, they were good looking games, but I was just like, oh, wow, this is like a whole generation leap. I can sort of understand. Like, I booted up Journey, and I finally got nice headphones too. So I booted up Journey with nice headphones on a nice TV, and I was like, oh my god, this is. I don't know. Games are so fucking cool now. Like they're just so cool. I feel like people don't appreciate that. They're like, this game's okay, 7 out of 10. I was like, did you even look at that game? Like that is a work of art. It might not play great, but damn, it just looks good. Like, can't you just appreciate how good? It's not even like just
that's why
graphics.
It's a 7 out of 10, not a 2 out of 10 because it looks pretty.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like back in the day we were always kind of like, oh, game graphics are always good, but it's not even graphics, just like visual design. Like we were playing Xenoblade, like those monsters just are gorgeous looking things, and I feel like people don't really appreciate that anymore. I feel like we're still, not that I don't think gameplay is still to me very, very important, but I think that just the visual design of games today, like I feel like people don't give games enough credit for the way they look, because people complained a lot about Battlefront and the content, and I don't doubt the content was. I'm sure Bright, I mean, I played a little bit too at your house, and I was like, okay, yeah, there's definitely not enough maps here. There's definitely not enough, especially compared to the other games. But that game looks like Star Wars.
Yep.
Period.
Absolutely.
And I feel like people just like don't appreciate that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying people need to appreciate graphics more. I think people need to appreciate the artistry that goes in the games. Sorry, that's my little rant. That has nothing to do with anything.
Long story short, Doug bought a TV. Be happy for Doug.
No, I don't think you should be happy for it. I think that anytime I hear arguments like, oh, does 1080p really make a difference? Like, yes, it does. It absolutely does. There's no question.
I don't feel like anybody's arguing about 1080p making a difference. I think everybody's kind of on board with that except you.
Although I will say one thing, I do not like that a lot of games now are designed with big TVs in mind, because now I'm playing some games like, oh, I can actually read the font. I can actually, I don't know, I guess most people have 50-inch TVs now. I don't know. But I think it's really strange. I don't like that a lot of games seem to be designed around you need a big TV. I don't like that at all.
But it just makes them better. So why would you?
Yeah,
but that's like, why would
it does, but it shouldn't be like your
PS3 and port it to PS4 when you could design it for the PS4? Why would you design something to play in 720p on a 20-inch TV when you could design it to play on a 1080p 62-inch behemoth?
Because I seriously doubt, but that's what I'm saying. I doubt most people have behemoth TVs. Like,
true,
I'm not saying you can design a game for 1080p like that. I don't have a problem with. I just have like designing for a 50-inch screen is weird because I don't think everybody has a 50-inch screen. Like now I'm like, oh wow, this is why these fonts are this size. But Like I don't know.
It's like shooting but it's like shooting a movie in IMAX. Not everybody's gonna see it in IMAX, but it certainly makes things look better when you're using those fancy cameras and everything.
No, it does, but you can still watch the movie like on a small screen. It's
You
not
can
like
still play the game on a
you don't
small
have trouble.
screen.
Yeah, but you don't have trouble watching the movie. You're like, is that actually Christian Bale? Like you're not. Dark Knight's like the only movie I can think of that was shot in IMAX. I'm sure there's other ones.
Like, why the hell Christian Bale?
But I'm saying it's like you don't have trouble like reading subtitles. Like that's a big issue that I've always had is like the subtitles and like subtitles. Like I couldn't play The Witcher. Like I was trying to play. I was actually gonna boot up The Witcher. I haven't played it yet on my new TV, but I couldn't play it. I couldn't read things unless I was like a few inches away from the TV, and I don't know. I think people need to be more conscientious of just people don't. Not everybody plays on a big screen, and not everybody has like perfect 20/20 vision either.
But then you're gonna get to the point where people are complaining like that's all the downgrading and all that kind of stuff that people talk about graphically is. Oh, you know what? If somebody came out and said, yeah, you're right, it doesn't look as pretty as it could, because we know not everybody has 50-inch TVs, so those of you with 50-inch TVs better shut your damn mouths, because other people are going to complain about it.
No, this is mostly UI complaints. This is not like graphics complaints. This is like UI entirely.
Again, like if you start making the text look different, like it's optimized to run on this TV that people have. It's like, again, I think of it like PC specs.
Yeah.
If you really want to play a game right, you're not going to go out and buy a $300 PC.
No, but you can change the font size. I pretty much only complain about the font size.
The right way, you're not going to buy a 30-inch TV. You're going to buy a 50-inch TV. It's the same idea. No, you're getting the same experience on the $300 one and the $2,000 one. The $2,000 one is just optimized.
No, you should be able to change your font size.
I mean, that's probably an option.
It's not though. That's what I'm saying. It's not an option.
Probably be an option. Yeah.
That's pretty much all I'm saying.
But if you put big ass font, one of my other friends in high school used to play games on literally a 16-inch TV because that was what he had in his bedroom was like a little 16-inch TV.
Yeah, yeah.
And if the font's bigger, then it's taking up half the screen. So then you're gonna get those people complaining.
Well, you could have options. All I'm saying is I think there should be options. I think it's weird that games are designed for 50-inch TVs. That's all I'm going to say. I think it's strange that I feel like because you're cutting out a large portion of your gaming. This is like the biggest TV I've ever seen in my life. No, I mean I've seen bigger TVs, but like not any that I've ever had in this house. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like that games are designed for big TVs. But now that I have a big TV, it's like, oh, this is awesome.
They should all be designed exactly. Now you're going, oh, I understand why they're designed for big TVs because they look amazing on them.
They do look amazing. I just feel like you're cutting out a large portion of your gaming population because I mean everybody plays on shitty TVs for a long time.
Yeah, but just because some people do doesn't mean that the rest of us have to do something else.
No, but I think you should at least cater to some of those people sometimes. I'm just saying, just cater to everybody. Just broaden your audience. So anyway, game I played, I don't know. I played Journey for a bit. It looked cool. Anyway, but me and Brad, we're not going to talk too much about this because I think me and Brad only got a few hours into this, but we'll probably be talking about Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Real quick impressions. Give me like a sentence.
I love it.
I like it a lot better than Dracula X Chronicles.
Okay, so to be fair, really quick here, this is the first actual Castlevania game you played in the more modern sense other than Dracula X Chronicles. You never played any of the Game Boy Advance ones. You never played any of the ones that actually have that Castlevania style of exploring the castle. No,
I'm less interested in that, more interested in the fact that it's like an action RPG because I am a sucker for action RPGs. With like stats and attacks and stuff like that. Yeah. Although I find it like, I thought Dracula X was way too hard. I find this game super, super easy.
How far? I don't know. How far are you? Like, what area are you in?
I don't know. I beat like 3 bosses without blinking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm about 2 or 3 hours into it. I just remember the original Castlevania Dracula, the only one I ever played. Like, I was just having a hell of a time, like just even getting through it. But this one, I'm just like destroying guys. So I don't know. Maybe I'm playing it wrong or something, or I'm just like maybe I accidentally over leveled or something like that. I don't know. Game's pretty cool. We'll talk about it later, though, I think. I don't think we have many more to say that Brad likes it. And
yeah. And I mean, I've always loved these Castlevania games, and Symphony of the Night is one that I've never played, and I know it's like the best one. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so far before I play, it's like, I definitely can see why people like this game. So, after a half hour of rambling, I guess we should actually get into news.
I mean, we talked about hockey and Xenoblade Well, anyway.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was like essentially two games for like half hour. Anyway, so to some actual news, because this episode we're actually going to talk about news.
Whoa!
Division gameplay came out. There's like I think the most extensive I could find was like a 15-minute, was it from like South American Gamers or something?
Yeah, that was definitely the intro video that started that, was the South America Gaming journalist site or something.
Yeah. So, but we watch it. I want to talk about it mostly because
Can I already
I
guess
feel
what
like
your complaint is? We haven't talked about this, but I already know what your complaint is.
what's my complaint?
The UI, because it's all over the fucking place.
That's not my only complaint. That's my basic complaint with the Ubisoft games. Like I didn't expect it like to be any better. Like yeah, the UI is it's the same thing as like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed, where it's just like way too much of it. Weird. I'm playing Destiny. I feel like Destiny has a shit ton of UI stuff, but I don't notice it as much. I don't know. Maybe the game just has a better integrate or something. Anyway, the reason I want to talk about the Division is because this is one of those games that I feel like there's a lot of people complain. Like people complain about Uncharted because they're like Nathan Drake kills a lot of people. How can he still be a good guy? Like it doesn't make sense. And I can understand like for that sort of game, it does kind of make sense because he's like an adventure game and there's some sort of like suspension of disbelief. But I was watching the Division, like it's like an action RPG, but you're shooting like normal people. So like normal people are getting like 5 or 6 headshots with like little numbers above their head. And it just like it felt really didn't make any sense to me. Like I found it very, very confusing because like Destiny, I feel like it kind of makes sense because you're shooting aliens, so you can kind of accept like some aliens have better armor or something like that. But like when you're shooting people, like it doesn't make sense to have that sort of action RPG or just RPG in general of like stats and
Yeah.
armor and things like that. Because if you shoot a guy 5 times in the face, like it doesn't matter if he's wearing, it doesn't really matter what he's wearing. It's just, you shot like a 5 times in the face. Like a better bullet shouldn't matter in that case.
Yeah. I don't know. This whole game, this is one of those games in my mind is essentially the same as Watch Dogs, where it came out so early in development and it looks so gorgeous that it got so
Oh
many
yeah.
people's attention. If you put up what the Division now is and it's our first introduction to this game, nobody gives a shit.
Uh,
Do you disagree with that? If you
no,
take
I
away the
don't.
first couple, like the first year they had that ungodly gorgeous trailer, and it was one of the first like, oh my god, that's got to be the next gen. That's so great. Like holy
Yeah,
crap!
yeah.
Like I can't wait to play that. And now it looks like Ubisoft squad based shooter. There it looks like there's that action RPG element that looks weird, but I feel like if you put up this gameplay that's out now, 6 months
Yeah.
prior to the release as the initial stuff for this game, nobody cares. But because it's got
Yeah.
this 4-year announcement cycle and the initial trailer is gorgeous and there's no gameplay really in it, or there is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know. I feel like after watching this, I I don't plan on playing this game. It just looks like it's a shooter. It's a squad shooter. There's nothing specific to it.
Yeah, and it felt kind of weird because it felt like the tone sort of like really changed too. Like I felt like the original gameplay for the Division was sort of like it's like very life or death. Like, oh, we really need to plan this as we go in. We
Yeah.
really need to make
Yep.
sure. But as soon as I see numbers pop up and like Destiny again, I just finished playing Destiny right before I started with this podcast. I feel like there isn't really there's a lot of just like, oh my god, shit's going crazy. Gotta shoot, 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 shoot. It's a lot of fun. But it feels like this kind of lost that tactical aspect of it.
Yeah.
It looks like it has more of that like kind of weird skirmishy. I don't know, like the tone just seems completely different. It felt like the original ones showed this like really well, almost Rainbowy Six sort of tactical. You need to
Yep.
think before you do, and this one is just like run in and start shooting, which I'm sure sells. I'm sure people like that, but
Yeah. I'm not saying this game
hopefully,
won't sell. I'm saying this game would not be as big of a deal if it didn't have those initial trailers that were
yeah,
very vague in what this product was. And if you now seen the final product, because in my mind, when I saw that, I went, oh man, that game looks like it's going to be crazy good.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
don't pre-order stuff 4 years in advance.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Now seeing this, if I would have pre-ordered that game 2, 3, however many years ago it was, I'd be canceling my pre-order. This is not a game I need to pay $60 for.
You know what I
This is
think
not what I was originally sold.
You know what I'm thinking about? So I think they got away with it with Watch Dogs, but what I think happened with Watch Dogs, like we didn't really know that it wasn't going to look good until they started showing a lot of gameplay.
Yeah.
And then everybody got really mad. It's like, oh, there's a huge Watch Dog downgrade. But I think they released the Division trailer, like the initial trailer, before all that backlash happened. So they
Yeah,
couldn't
'cause it
take back, they couldn't take back that original trailer. So I gotta assume Ubisoft is done doing this.
And I'm thinking, because was it this E3 or last year E3 where they did the new Ghost Recon trailer at the end? I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, but
But-
actually, I was just about to talk about that. Yeah, that was my next yeah.
If you compare the way that trailer looked, where it had like pre-alpha gameplay stamped all over it, and the way that trailer looked versus the way the Division trailer looked on its initial like end of E3 conference video,
Yeah.
the Ghost Recon one did not get nearly as much hype as the Division one did. because that game looks like the game that's going to come out. I saw that one.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty. That's what that game's going to look like. That's what that game's going to be about. Now, The Division
Hopefully.
came out, and again, I'm not saying like downgrade. I don't really care too much about downgrading anything. I'm saying style, feeling of the game, those types of things are very different from what that initial trailer conveyed to now. So I think that's why Ghost Recon doesn't have this crazy huge buzz about it. Like, when's Ghost? I honestly kind of forgot it existed until we started talking about this stuff.
But yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though. But like, okay, you're a publisher. But you want to bring buzz about this game. Do you risk the backlash of downgrade and things like what we're talking about now to get at least people talking about it to begin with? Because right now, yeah, people aren't talking about that Ghost Recon game. But you saw it, I was like, it looks okay. It looks pretty good. That looks
it doesn't
plausible.
look any different than the Division does. The current gameplay for the Division looks very similar to what we saw of Ghost Recon. They're probably running on a similar engine, probably not the exact same, but they look similar.
Yeah.
And the Division has the buzz because of that initial trailer that, could be taken as being misleading.
Yeah, I'd rather have a game have an uninspiring trailer and then come out and then blow everybody away than a game where everybody's like, "Oh, this game's gonna be awesome. This game's gonna be awesome," and then they start listening, and you're like, "Oh, this doesn't look as good as I thought it would." But as a publisher, I mean, it makes sense. I can understand why Ubisoft would do stuff like this too. It's just like it sucks. Like it's just one of those kind of like, you need to sell. You at the end of the day, you do need to sell stuff. You need to make it back your investment, and the only way to get talked about stuff is sometimes to lie to people, and I don't like it. But I don't know.
I mean, and again, I don't necessarily know if it was lying to it. I mean, that trailer was 3 years ago. The game probably has had some tonal shifts in it from 3 years ago to now. And what they showed is probably not. It was probably more of a work in progress of this is the ideas we have. This is where we want to take this. We'll see if that's where we get to or not.
Yeah, they probably thought they could do it too. I rarely believe that like when they show vertical slice, like they didn't think that they might be able to do it. I just don't think from the gameplay we've seen that they did it. I don't. We'll have to look at it more. Hopefully, as like more and more stuff comes out, we'll get a better idea of what kind of game this is. I hope they have a beta or something, and then we can jump on that and see what it actually is.
Yeah, I feel like they would. I feel like Ubisoft's been doing a lot of betas lately.
Yeah, like For Honor and stuff like that. Yeah. Speaking of which,
that was a damn good segue, by the way.
Actually, I forgot it was the next thing on our. I was thinking about it. Like I didn't realize it was the next thing on our outline. I was just like thinking about. I was like, oh, other Ubisoft. Yeah, that For Honor game looks kind of cool. That's why I said I didn't really. But so the next thing we have to talk about is For Honor will have a campaign. Okay. I was kind of surprised. I didn't know it didn't.
I'm pumped about this. Yeah, no, they announced it originally as kind of having a multiplayer focus, kind of similar to like Rainbow Six Siege, where it's mostly multiplayer. It's got some story-ish elements in it, but it's more just like you're big ass dude fighting this other big ass dude, and you're gonna fight each other.
Yeah.
But they kind of said that they'd gotten enough feedback and input that they wanted to adjust it and add some form of single-player campaign to it. They didn't say what it was, so it might be something as pathetically small as Battlefront's campaign.
Yeah.
But nothing's better than something.
No, I think that's kind of cool. I keep hearing really, really, really positive buzz about that game. Like from journalists and stuff who've played it. Well, journalists, people who are paid to talk about games. But it's really funny because I watch a lot of game trailers and stuff, and they were just talking about like one time they were going over the games of PSX and like, For Honor. Wait, did anybody play For Honor? Oh my gosh, For Honor was good. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I feel like Ubisoft has the potential to make a really, 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 really good game, but they put too much money into them to make great games. They just make an average game that'll sell.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just they can't take the chance of like the amount of time it takes to do a good game because you have to do something pretty shocking or something dangerous to get like best games of all time.
Yeah.
This one. I think Brad, you should talk more about this because I'm really curious about ESPN. Just ESPN Watcher reaction. So if you go to the ESPN site right now, there is currently a tab. If you go to ESPN.com, there's like a little. They show you like NHL, NBA, football.
I was really wondering how long it was going to be
NFL.
until you ran out of sports leagues. You made it through 2. I'm pretty impressed right now.
Yeah, NFL.
There it is.
But right there, they have like a little ... for like other leagues, so that'd be like NASCAR or other sports. Brad, why am I talking about this one?
Because this is way more entertaining than me just saying what it is.
Anyway,
So
esports is on there.
keep talking about the inner
Esports,
functions
esports
of
is on the
ESPN.
ESPN website. Esports is on the ESPN website. Talk. What does this mean?
Yeah,
I think this is crazy.
so ESPN announced this earlier, and ESPN did a little bit earlier with, I think it was Dota. I don't remember if it was Dota or League of Legends, but they actually broadcast a couple tournaments like on TV in 2015, kind of summertime. I don't remember what they were. I don't. Neither one of us are big people who follow esports, but
No,
basically,
yeah.
it's what ESPN said is they said, okay, we're going to start partnering with these things. Then we want to start having some coverage of this. We're going to hire a couple writers who are going to cover this as their job. So if you go to the esports page, it is actually identical to what the NFL page looks like. It's got, videos of people talking about stuff. It's got articles about what's going on. It's talking about the different people who are involved in esports. It looks and feels exactly like a page, just like you'd have teams at the top. It's got League of Legends, Dota, Hearthstone, whatever the hell the game is.
Oh, Hearthstone, man. You're the most popular. Oh, you have a video game. Just continue. It's Hearthstone.
Ouch, that was painful.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, they're covering it exactly like they would anything else, and they kind of announced it similar to what they would do with like boxing coverage if you pay any attention to ESPN, where they don't talk about it at all 90% of the time, but when there's a big event, they get the boxing guy on to come talk about boxing. They said they're going to do some of that integrating into their normal programming as well, saying, okay, you know what? The big League of Legends tournament is coming up. Let's go to ESPN's esports anchor so-and-so who's going to tell us about the League of Legends tournament. So they are going to actually do it as a sports league, and they're going to cover it in that same sense. So I don't know. I feel like it's a huge thing for esports. I don't follow it too much, but
Yeah.
I feel like having that recognition from something like ESPN is big.
I still find this all so weird. To me, I guess the best way to describe it is because I don't see it as a sport, but I see it like a chess tournament. But this is like one of those things like I feel like we're kind of out of touch with because we don't do esports at all, and we don't do like let's plays and stuff like that. It's just these things that I don't understand. That like I don't understand why somebody would want to watch an entire game played from start to finish by somebody. To me, that's kind of strange. Like, why wouldn't you? If you're spending the amount of time to watch it, why not just play it? And I also don't understand like how there's like millions of people, like there's sold out arenas in South Korea doing StarCraft 2 tournaments. I don't understand it, but I guess this is the only way to recognize it because I don't think there is another way to recognize it that anybody really has any idea. Because is it a sport? No, but it's more exciting than chess. So we need to it's somewhere.
Yeah, I look at it like poker. I mean, ESPN plays poker all the time.
Oh, I guess that's true.
It's a very similar idea where it's a game of skill, not necessarily a sport, so to speak. And again, ESPN covers that. I mean,
if ESPN, they cover poker.
I don't know if ESPN does. I know like Fox Sports has it on whenever there's not a Red Wings game.
All right, if sports channels are covering poker, they cannot say a goddamn thing about putting on esports. Nobody should be complaining. Nobody should be complaining if they show poker. I thought this was like
esports. Who was complaining about this?
I thought there was like some ESPN anchors who were like tired of talking about esports.
ESPN,
is that not a thing?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I think this is weird, but I think this is weird because I just don't get esports, and I just feel like this part of gaming that I just don't understand. And I've tried getting into it. I like watching videos, but when I try watching people play League of Legends, I'm like, what the hell am I watching? And I'm not even a guy who watches like I just can't imagine like a League of Legends tournament on and like somebody who's just like trying to watch, I don't know, football or something, and there's like a League of Legends game. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? Like, I'm really curious how the ESPN viewing audience is going to not take this, but just like react to this.
I don't know. I mean, if you look at the amount of people who play Madden and stuff like that, there was a couple years where they broadcast Madden tournaments. I think that went over well, but I mean that's not really what they're going for here. I mean, I could see them doing much more of like, okay, we're going to start like start covering Madden leagues and things like that.
Yeah.
Or even like, to me, I don't know, again, I don't follow any of this stuff, but like the big Street Fighter tournaments and the big Smash Brother tournaments, those make more sense to me than like League of Legends because I feel like it's easier for someone who's not into this to go, those two people are trying to beat the shit out of each other as opposed to trying to figure out what the hell is happening in League of Legends.
I actually do watch the fighting game tournaments. I do like watching those a lot. I think those are a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, I guess I could see that. But yeah, man, League of Legends to me, I think is like crazy. Like I don't understand what's going on during those games. I actually had somebody sit down and explain. Can you teach me how to play these games. They were like just it was like an hour, 2 hour long explanation of how these games are played.
Oh, with like
And
the amount of strategy that goes in. Yeah, I played it. I mean, I
yeah.
probably put 8 or 9 hours into League of Legends
Oh, I
at
didn't know
one
that.
point.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of my friends were super into it. And like, oh, you gotta start playing with us. I was like, fine, whatever. What the hell? I'll give it a shot. And it's, oh, you gotta
Yeah.
go down this certain lane, and you don't go into the black until this point, and you make sure that you're out of. And there's just so much that goes into it. I mean, it's perfectly described as a chess match because it's all about trying to think of which strategy goes to counter this. You go, oh, they went 2 up, 1 down, or something. It
Yeah,
was a long time ago, but anyway.
but it's kind of like okay, we're gonna start showing chess to an audience who've never even heard of chess.
Yeah, and that's where it's weird, and I don't know how well it'll go over, but
Yeah,
it's an interesting thing that they're trying.
I feel like this is gonna be like a developing story because I feel like there's gonna be some like huge kickback, especially when ESPN is gonna do like the first big tournament or something they're gonna show on TV. Like I
Well,
think
like
that'll
I
be
said,
really interesting.
they did 3 or 4 of them last year. They
Okay.
broadcast several tournaments last year.
Oh, okay. Okay. So maybe this isn't super weird.
So
I
I
just
think
find it
that
kind of
was
weird.
kind of the introduction for it, and apparently I think it went well. I know they had fairly decent ratings on it, so I think that was just kind of
Yeah.
ESPN's test out period of how deep do we go into this esports thing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like when you look at like League of Legends tournaments online and stuff, they get like 2 million views, like concurrent viewers.
Yeah,
So I could see that it could just be chasing an audience as well.
yeah,
And it's worth whatever backlash they get from like normal viewers because they're going to get a whole host of new people watching ESPN.
yeah.
Next big news: the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game by Platinum that's been kind of rumored. I think we talked a little bit about it before. Basically, there was a ESBR notice for it, and that's how it sort of got leaked slash announced. And now they actually showed some screenshots, and it looks pretty cool. It looks a lot like my first impression is, oh, they're doing the Transformers Devastation thing,
For
but this
sure,
time with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
for sure.
It looks like the same engine, looks has the same not same art style. It's got it looks a lot like from what I understand. I've been people talk about that. It's actually based on or at least heavily inspired by the comics. And I think Transformers Devastation actually started a new comic line, and that's what they're doing with this. Like these are kind of like canon games
That's kind of cool.
for whatever. Yeah,
I'm just curious because Devastation was a full out $60 retail game, right?
yeah,
I'm really curious to see where they go with these because I feel like that game probably would have done much better at a $20 or $40 price point.
oh yeah,
Because
for sure. Yeah.
a lot of people I think didn't because I mean it was 6 hours. I haven't played it,
Mhm.
but I mean the general consensus is it's a 6 hour single player game with not a ton of replayability. So I'd be
Yeah.
really curious to see if now going forward, Platinum's going, okay, we're doing the same idea here. We sell this for $40. It's gonna have a lot bigger buy-in. I would have bought that Transformers game right away for $40, $60. I wanted to, wait it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean we talked about this before. I'm really hoping that because Sony's gonna be start pushing that $40 game pretty hard, that other devs start getting up. Because it's funny when people talk about the Transformers game, everybody says like I mean they say they have like minor complaints, but like it's just a fun game. It's just a fun
Yeah.
it's a Transformers Platinum game, and that's pretty much that's the only complaint is like there's some stuff, but it's not a $60 game. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. I'd be curious. I guess it depends, and it depends on a lot of things. Like if this is like an arcade beat 'em up sort of thing, then it's probably going to be like a $40. Because I think the initial ESBR thing was actually from Xbox Live.
Yeah, and that's why I'm curious
Uh,
if you going the PSN Xbox Live route. I feel
yeah,
like might be a much better avenue for a game like this than the $60 physical.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty. I guess the game just in general just looks kind of neat. I'm not a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guy, so I don't know a whole lot about it. It just looks kind of cool. So like those are one of those things like I always just probably wait for a rental sort of thing because I'm just not really into it. But I could imagine. Teenage Mutant Turtles. I know at the very least has a very sordid history with some really really good video games and some really really bad video games, and hopefully it's somewhere in between. Next, Bayonetta 2 is coming. They're not re-releasing. I guess they're reprinting it without
It's
Bayonetta
kind of
1,
a
but now it's gonna.
re-release.
Yeah, but it's basically just not gonna have Bayonetta 1, and
Yeah,
it's going to be just Bayonetta 2 for $30. Is it 30?
it's $30. Yeah, $30
Yeah,
for
okay.
Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool. Mostly because it's a cheap Nintendo game.
Yeah, so that's the weird thing is this doesn't happen with Nintendo games. Nintendo doesn't discount their games. And this is kind of
Yeah,
the first time they've
yeah,
ever been like, we're gonna do a big old price cut on one of our games. We're gonna make it 50% off and just see what happens.
yeah. I think actually, we don't really get complaints because not a lot of people listen to us. But uh, like one of the reasons we don't talk a lot about Nintendo games in general, uh, and kind of why we talk about PlayStation games is just because it comes down to money. Nintendo games don't go down in price. So, Brad, you think you have how many PS4 games about do you have? I
Like
feel like
digital, physical, and plus.
everything. Like I'm considering everything.
Oh, I believe my spreadsheet's around 100.
Whoa, holy shit. Okay, I
Well,
didn't think it
you
was that
figure
high.
okay. Well, you figure two plus, at least two plus games for what are we at? 18 months, 19 months. There's
Oh, okay, yeah,
close
I
to
guess that's
40
true.
right there. So
Yeah, and like you only have like a handful of Wii U games.
yeah, maybe 15.
Yeah, but it comes down just to the price. Like just especially like we don't talk about 3DS games because 3DS games are like $40 forever. While
Yeah,
you can get like on a Vita, you can just get a bunch of. I'm saying these games. I'm not arguing that the 3DS games are worse. They're definitely worth. I'm sure they're worth their price. They are, but it's just Nintendo for better or for worse. I can understand. I think it's kind of neat that they have a premium on it, but to me as a consumer, when I can buy PS4 games for 10, $15, I don't
yeah,
think I'm going to pick up a Nintendo. I mean, I'll probably get an NX, but
yeah.
um,
And you mentioned that's the only reason I don't have a 3DS. I've almost bought a 3DS probably a dozen times, and every time I do, I go, well, I'll get this game, and that's $30 more, and then I'll get this game, it's another $40. Whereas I got my Vita, and within 3 weeks, I had half a dozen games because yeah, I'll go get Uncharted, the Uncharted game that came out 2 years ago for $5. Yeah, I'll go get the Killzone game that came out a year and a half ago for $8.50 because those
yeah.
games are more reasonably priced. That's my thing, and that's where it's kind of cool that Nintendo's doing this. I haven't bought Bayonetta 2 because I didn't get it initially when it came out. I don't remember why, and
Well,
it's
it
just
came with
been like,
Bayonetta
well,
1, and you had that, didn't you?
yeah, but again, still, like I love Bayonetta, and it was just it ended up being like, oh, I'll just wait for it to be on sale. Just wait for it to be on sale. And here we are a year and a half later, and it's finally on sale. And I'm going to buy it February 19th at 12:01 p.m. because that's when it's $30.
Yeah. I really, I I know we should talk about NX because we know nothing, but I'm really curious if they're going to start reacting because of prices, because like PS Flash sales and Xbox I know has a bunch of sales as well. I'm really hoping that they're going to at least react to that.
I mean, they don't have to go crazy. I'm not saying like permanently Smash Bros. Is now $15 go, but do a flash sale every now and then. Go, you know what? This week we're actually going to put some money into this, and this week we're actually going to try and get this to sell. And it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to sit here and permanently reduce the games, but these games like don't even go on sale. It's
Yeah,
rare to see a
yeah,
Nintendo game on sale. Even regular $59.99. This week only $45. That's rare.
yeah. That's like Black Friday stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just crazy. And I think you can still put a premium on your games and have that reduced price at certain times so that consumers will be more apt to purchase them. I love my Wii U, but if I'm going to pay Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, the cheapest I have seen that game is $40,
Yeah,
35 maybe a little less than that. But if I'm going to pay $45 for that, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that game's 2 years old. 2-year-old games, I could go get Beyond Two Souls. I could get like knock off like 6 games off of my games I want list,
yeah,
or I can get Donkey Kong.
yeah. And that's the thing that sucks. Like Donkey Kong is still a really damn good game.
Oh hell yeah!
It's just I would almost rather pay for 3 really good games
Then
than
one
one
great game.
amazing game.
Absolutely, and that's
And
where I
that's
am
just
with all this Nintendo stuff. And I wish I'd played my Wii U more, like especially playing Xenoblade Chronicles. I forgot how much I love certain things about the Wii U, but
hmm
it's just yeah.
yeah. Last bit of news. Hitman is going episodic, and we're going to try and make. I'll make this one really quick. I think this is actually kind of cool because I think a lot of people are really mad because the Hitman games have, especially this one, they've been announcing a bunch of weird stuff. Like they're gonna have an intro pack, and then you paid like $35 for, it, and then you upgrade to a full version, and they had all this like. Yeah, it was really strange. It was super strange. And sometimes like, or you pay $60 and it kind of works as a season pass, and you get like these like chunks of games. But what they're doing now, they're doing it basically as episodes, and each level is an episode, and it goes throughout the year. If you pay for the whole thing, the whole package is $60, and Basically, they're gonna do it like I don't like Life is Strange or something like that.
Resident Evil Revelations.
Yeah, no,
It's the
exactly.
easiest connection.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can see why people would be really mad about this, especially because how Hitman, you know, Hitman has always been just like a complete package when it comes out. But to me, this sounds like they're doing Ground Zero episodes. Like if I got a new Ground Zeroes every few months, like that is
Oh
awesome.
yeah, that's a completely different thing. And I think Resident Evil kind of got away with this because they announced it as something different. You know, what I mean, this isn't a mainline
Yeah,
Resident Evil game. This isn't your
yeah,
main. This isn't Resident Evil 7. This is Resident Evil Revelations and Revelations 2. So this is going to be kind of more of an episodic style of this. I feel like the
yeah,
biggest backlash with this is the new mainline Hitman game, and it's the first Hitman game in what 5, 6 years. It's been a while.
yeah.
So I think that's the biggest
Oh, no,
backlash to
whoa.
it.
Mhm.
I guess my only issue with this is it just sounds like they have no clue what the hell they're doing. I feel like this game changes release style, date, packages, things every couple of months. There's something like, oh yeah, now it's going to be like this.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it because I know that Jim Sterling actually did a really really good video on it. And if you want to know more about the Hitman stuff, but it sounds like that Square Enix was really wishy-washy on like whether or not they wanted to make it episodic or not, or didn't, or did, and kept going back and forth. The thing is, I feel like that first episode is going to make or break this. Like we can talk all day. It's like, does it suck that Hitman is episodic? But if that thing is half as good as Ground Zeroes was,
Oh yeah,
that's going to be like people are going to be on board immediately. So I'm really hoping that I'm hoping everything they've said about it. It sounds a lot like Ground Zeroes. Like we're going to give you a single environment. You're gonna have like your main story mission, like a few main story missions, and then you're gonna go through and do like all these side mission things, just like Ground Zeroes. And Ground Zeroes did it really cool. So I'm hoping that's kind of what it is.
yeah. And I feel like it's a style of game kind of like Ground Zeroes where it lends itself well to that because it's got the you can kind of do whatever you want. You can approach this in a different manner. I feel like a game that's much more linear,
Hmm.
these episodic ideas aren't going to work so well. But because you're opening this whole world up, you're saying, okay, Ground Zero, go ahead. Here's an AK-47. Run through, see what you can do. Okay, this
Yeah,
time, here's your silenced pistol, see what you can do. Okay, this time go over here and try going through this back door this time and take these other things and do this other stuff with it. So there's enough content in that one level that, okay, we're just going to encourage replayability of this level as opposed to just saying, here's a 10-hour game, burn through all 10 hours, put it on the shelf. Instead, here's an hour game, play it for an hour, try it a couple other different ways if you're really enjoying it. We'll give you another one
yeah.
next month.
Like I think that this is actually really good. I have like no evidence of that, but if it does work like that, that'd be awesome. Like I would just pick like I'm never gonna spend $60 on Hitman, but I might spend $10 like I did on Ground Zeroes
Yeah, just
to
every
play it.
$10
Yeah,
every month to play Hitman. It feels much easier on the wallet
yeah.
than a $60 game.
It's kind of like no interest down.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like yeah,
The $10 once, if you like it, keep paying further installments. Otherwise, it's your try it once and you'll get your money back. Kind of, not really. At least just
yeah.
for $60.
And Hitman seems kind of like a weird. I think Hitman. I think the last Hitman. Well, no, I guess the last Hitman sold a lot. So I don't know why they're doing it with Hitman specifically. So I guess we'll just see. I'm just really really curious when that comes out. I might actually purchase it. I've never played a Hitman game, so
Really?
I'm gonna yeah. Well I've played. I haven't really like played.
I
So I'm
guess
kind
that's
of
true.
curious.
I think I'm kind of the same. I feel like I played a couple of them for a couple hours here and there, but I guess I've never actually finished one. I don't think.
Yeah. So this might be for us. This might be for people who don't know a lot about Hitman and just like wouldn't spend $60 on Hitman immediately, but $10 to try it out. Sure.
Yeah, has to be better than the movie.
Yeah. And real quick, Assassin's Creed movie wraps. I am surprised that movie even got made.
Somewhere or
Arrow
another, that
finished.
is officially a thing.
Yep. So that was the Darksliders podcast. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at Darksliders_POD. Whatever you're listening to us on, you can probably subscribe to us on. We're on YouTube, we're on SoundCloud, we're on iTunes, we're on Spreaker, we're on other stuff, we're on a lot of things. Whatever you listen to us on, just subscribe. Send us comments. We always like comments. We do read all of them. We respond to most of them because there's not a whole lot to respond to.
And
So,
we
but
like
if
it.
you,
And thank you to those
yeah,
of you who have been, because there are a couple of you guys who always say stuff. And we like it. And it's cool.
yeah,
And yeah, thank you.
yeah. I think there's a few people on Twitter. I guess I'll point out Jay. Jay always kind of gives us nice comments. I always like that. If you have any critiques too, I'd actually like to hear what you guys don't like. I'm kind of more interested in what you
Be
guys
as
don't like
mean
than
as
what
you
you
kind of dug, is what he's saying.
do. Yeah. So that was the Darksliders podcast with Doug and Brad. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.